So here we are, several days with snow and ice, etc. I am in the middle of trying to fix my alternator, which is packed in, and I'll show you some of the data we found to try and test the alternator, which is clearly not working, so we're assuming that. So we've already started by removing the left hand side airbox, left hand side from the front of the engine, and we've moved this valve here, the coolant pipes, the inlet, these pipes, and the alternator is away down there. I hope you can see that, so it's quite a difficult thing to get out. The next thing we need to do is to remove this. This part here connects to the turbo, and this is where the pipe comes up into the airbox here, because we need to get down in there to remove the alternator. We also need to try and take the belt off. So the other thing we need to try and do is remove the fan, which I think we need to remove this airbox as well, a couple of bits and pieces of pipe, top hose, to try and give us space to get down in there to remove that. So we've been at it a couple of days, but iced off, snowed off here in Scotland. We've got this off here, so we've checked all the fuses, we've been underneath the car, we've checked all the earth straps, which are all fine. So our last resort is to replace the alternator. So let's see how we go with that. Start taking some of this other bits and pieces off to see how we go. It's quite difficult to get to the alternator. I'm standing up 5'11" and this car's this height because it's on the ramps, and to get down in there to get that alternator out is an absolute nightmare. We've been under the car. I don't think you can get the alternator out from underneath the car because we've got the active anti-roll bar system under there, which you could probably remove easily, but there's steering racks and things like that. Now the manual tells you to disconnect the steering rack. We can't figure out why it's telling us to do that. Maybe find that out in due course if we need to take that out. So my plan today is to do a wee bit of work on it to try and get this out, is trying to remove this fan to get this out the road. So I'm going to take this airbox out here, take the top cover off first. So we'll see how that goes. Right, okay. And the difficulty is it's wet and cold, and possibly going to be snowing or raining next, so we can just try and do what we can do now. I've already unplugged these plugs that go into the fan. What it's saying in the manual is we need to take this pipe out here. This is what they call the charged air return pipe. This pipe's going from the outlet of the turbo back into the intercooler, which is down here, and back up into this pipe here, which is the inlet pipe. We shall see. I'd really like to get the pipe below that out, so we will. That's the one I think is causing the problems, to get access to the alternator. It's also telling us to take this off the grill here to get the fan out. Certainly doesn't look like the drawings that are on the workshop manual, so that's not very helpful. Okay, so let's take this off, let's take some of these pipes off and see if we can get this fan out. So this is where we discovered the problem with the alternator. When we started the car up in the morning, we noticed the battery light was coming on and we had a charge fault. So that was unusual, it just all of a sudden happened. We don't know if it was the cold weather. So according to our battery monitor, you'll see here where we've got a normal charge when the vehicle started, You'll see the peaks going up to about 14 volts there or thereabouts, which is all fine. Then we'd done it again when the alternator failed, and you'll notice that when we started the car this time, the voltage dropped right down. So that gave us an indication of a problem with the alternator. So done a bit of testing, bit of diagnostics on it, and yes, it was the alternator. So we bought one and we proceeded to try and fit it to the Range Rover. So we'll just take these screws out. Oh, sorry, bumped into you there. There's one away down in here, I think. We shall try and I probably normally get my screwdriver drill in there, but it's quite high up. So I've got that off. Let's try and take this off. I'm just going to take this wee clip off here. Okay, so that's that out. The air filter, that's like new. Now let's see if we can get this off. I'll just take this out. This here should just be sitting. I don't think you actually really need to take that off, but we'll try and just lift that out. There's two grommets in here that just should pop out, like so. Certainly easier than the last one to get out. I thought that would leak coolant there, so one of the things we're going to have to do is to refill it with coolant when we're finished. There we go, so that's that cross pipe there. I think this has got to come off, which is a clip that's holding that on. I'm expecting to lose coolant here, so come off. So it's stuck down there. Right. There we go. I shall just put that clip back on there. I think we need to get this off here, which will be a 10. It's just a bracket. And I think we need to get this line off here. Some coolant coming out there. That looks like 8, just to take that. Looks like the AC pipes. I think there might be another one down here. We might have to take this expansion bottle off. Yeah, it's 8. Okay, at least that lets us see a wee bit in here what we've got. So we've got the bottom hose, we've got that 8 there. I don't think that one's touching it, so that's definitely the AC pipe. Let's try and get it off this shroud here. So what the manual's saying is that we take off this Jubilee clip. That's one of the hoses going to the crossover valve. Then in here, so if you can see that pipe in there, it's telling you to take that pipe off, and you need to have the hands of a 2-year-old child to get in there. Then it's want you to take this pipe here off, and it's connected away back there. And I can't for the life of me see how you're going to get in there to actually, I can't even see a Jubilee clip in there. Well, I think I can, but there is like zero way getting in that. The only other way I think about getting in there potentially is to take the inner, take the wheel off and take the inner out there to see if you can see inside there, which I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's going to be an option. So this is where we're at so far. The next day, we've taken the inner panel off here where the intercooler is. There's a wee panel in here to try and access the alternator up there. The next thing we managed to do is to locate the 2 wee clips at the bottom, which are a bit of a nightmare to get to, but I'll show you that hopefully when I get this out. I think there's a, I don't know if it's a fuel cooler or another type of cooler, we'll see that better when we get this fan out, that there's a single bolt you need to take off there. That's what was holding it up. So I've managed to slacken this a bit, so I'm just trying to see if I can wiggle it out. Again, I don't want to jam anything. I think it's free. I think that cooler, I don't know if you can see it down here, that's it there, that might be kind of jamming it ever so slightly, so I do have a bit of movement on it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that's stopping that from coming out there. Ideally we should have Apprentice Pat here on Sunday, but he's it's on his day off, so I can see the cooler down there. That's coming. Come on, baby. Come on, out you come. I just don't want to damage the radiator. This is my dilemma here. So there's a wee bit catching on that radiator there. I'm just trying to keep it away from the fins. Okay. Right, okay, there we are. Let's have a look at this. So this is a locator tab. There was no bolts in here. There was nothing holding that on. These were the 2 clips, and that's obviously sitting like that. That's sitting like that in the engine. And here is where this cooler sits. Flap doors everywhere. Right, Archie. This is the fan, the big fan, the small fan. So this cooler sits here, and I think it slots into these 2 slots here. And there's 1 screw holding that on. It'll be challenging to see how we get that back in there again. However, it's took us a bit of a while to get that off. It's obviously the connections on it. Fans feel fine. I don't know what that is, like a wee balancing weight there, see it? But they're the 2 clips that Really you need somebody to hold it at the top and somebody just to hold these clips. Even at that you need to have two arms to look at it. So let's see what that gives us then. Yeah, so there's the cooler there. You'll see the two tabs, hopefully we can see that. The two tabs there, there's a locating pin for it. I think there's a wee tiny bit of scraping on that radiator there, just got to be careful. I might actually get a bit of cardboard in there just to try and protect that, so if I'm in and out pulling out alternators, that we don't damage that. So I might do that now. Some of these pipes have to come off. I think we shall be taking this off to try and change the belt. The belt doesn't look too bad, but I would like to think that I've got this off so far that I could change the belt whilst I'm here. And that there is the crossover valve that's connected to the two intercooling systems. I did slacken that off. This is another pipe that's pinned onto the fan. And there we have our alternator here, which is still, we'll probably be able to get it out here. I'm not sure we're going to get it by this pipe here. Then again, we can only try. I think the biggest challenge is going to get an electrical connection off the alternator. But I would love to not take this off, hopefully unbolt that, drop it down and pull it up here and put it back in again there. So that's where we've got to so far. There's the cooler there. You'll see the two tabs, hopefully we can see that. The two tabs there, there's a locating pin for it. I think there's a wee tiny bit of scraping on that radiator there, just got to be careful. I might actually get a bit of cardboard in there just to try and protect that, so if I'm in and out pulling out alternators, that we don't damage that. So I might do that now. Some of these pipes have to come off. I think we shall be taking this off to try and change the belt. The belt doesn't look too bad, but I would like to think that I've got this off so far that I could change the belt whilst I'm here. And that there is the crossover valve that's connected to the two intercooling systems. I did slacken that off. This is another pipe that's pinned onto the fan. And there we have our alternator here, which is still, we'll probably be able to get it out here. I'm not sure we're going to get it by this pipe here. Then again, we can only try. I think the biggest challenge is going to get an electrical connection off the alternator. But I would love to not take this off, hopefully unbolt that, drop it down and pull it up here and put it back in again there. So that's where we've got to so far. It's been a bit of a nightmare job, to be honest with you, but I'm not in any hurry. I've got plenty of time in my hands. I don't really need the car for now, so I'll take it from there. I'm just going to point the camera down here in case we didn't see that. So that there is the cooler that's bolted onto the fan. This wee, I'll try and put the camera down there properly. This wee bit here is bolted onto the fan as well, with a wee Christmas tree part. And there's the alternator in here. Let me see if I can get the camera down there. Right, got that light in there. So this is the alternator here. It's this pipe. I can't get my hands down there and work the camera. It's this pipe here, like that way. This pipe here is causing us the problems, and I would rather not take that off. But I'm going to try and see if I can loosen the alternator now, at least get the bolts out it. I'll maybe try and see if I can take the belt off first. And I do believe I'll need to figure out where the tensioner is. Looks like it there. That, I can't really see that. That looks like a spring. And the tensioner, I'll maybe have a look at this footage just to familiarise myself with that. Just to take that belt tension off there and maybe put the belt on. So it'll be good to video where this belt is actually going. So it's coming from the alternator up over the top pulley. That's the main crank pulley. Underneath that pulley guide there, over on top of the air conditioning unit, I think that is, yep. Then it comes round that pulley and over the top of this pulley, which I think may be the water pump, I'm not 100% sure. Then it goes down the way, goes down here, loops over that pulley there, underneath the main crank, and back up again over this pulley, back round, down and up over the alternator. So hopefully I've captured that. There's the cooler there. You'll see the two tabs, hopefully we can see that. The two tabs there, there's a locating pin for it. I think there's a wee tiny bit of scraping on that radiator there, just got to be careful. I might actually get a bit of cardboard in there just to try and protect that, so if I'm in and out, pulling out alternators, that we don't damage that. So I might do that now. Some of these pipes have to come off. I think we shall be taking this off to try and change the belt. The belt doesn't look too bad, but I would like to think that I've got this off so far that I could change the belt whilst I'm here. And that there is the crossover valve that's connected to the two intercooler systems. I did slacken that off. This is another pipe that's pinned onto the fan, and there we have our alternator here, which is still, we'll probably be able to get it out here. I'm not sure we're going to get it by this pipe here. Then again, we can only try. I think the biggest challenge is going to get an electrical connection off the alternator, but I would love to not take this off. Hopefully unbolt that, drop it down and pull it up here and put it back in again there. So that's where we've got to so far. And there's the alternator in here. So this is the alternator here. It's this pipe. I can't get my hands down there and work the camera. It's this pipe here, like that way. This pipe here is causing us the problems, and I would rather not take that off. But I'm going to try and see if I can loosen the alternator now, at least get the bolts out it. I'll maybe try and see if I can take the belt off first. And I do believe I'll need to figure out where the tensioner is when we take that off. I would love to be able to say I can get that out at this point in time, but I'm not 100% sure. And we did take off the inner wheel arch. There's more to actually get access to in here, where the alternator is up there. Now, so this here is the steering bolt. In the workshop manual it's telling you to take that off, and I don't understand why, and I'm reluctant to take that off. but if you'll see up there, they're the 2 bolts for the alternator, and the power's up there somewhere, and I'm hoping I can reach that with a longer socket and get the power off. But just remember, you need to disconnect the battery for that. So that's why we took this small panel off here and this panel here, just to give us try and give us some kind of access to there. So let's see what's next, to see if we can actually maybe take the belt off and slacken the alternator, to see if we can actually start to manoeuvre it out. So, do you think you could pull that? Right, gently now. Right, that's us off the bottom. So it's up over the top of that one, see it? Aye. Right, that's us. Just let the tension back off again, Pat. That's alright.
That's quite a lot of movement.
Aye, so that's that.
Is that the belt off?
That's the belt off.
That's easy enough, right?
And we're getting poured with rain. They're actually quite slack. I just cracked them, so
aye,
they were already slack. I think these are only about 40 Newton meters torque on them. So they're...
probably don't need to be that slack, because it's not as if the alternator moves to tension the belt. It's a different tensioner. It's just located.
That's one. That's two.
Should come right out now.
Right, that's us out. That sounds low. Now, there's that hose there that's coming, tells you to move it.
Well, you can just do that.
Or you just take it out. So there we have it. It doesn't feel as if it's a bear in the way or anything on it.
No, it's not noisy, it's electric that's away.
Aye. Okay, so that's us. So the plan is to change the belt. This might seem a wee bit upside down actually, the camera wise. I can also check the size of it.
It's not like the old fashioned fan belts used to put on.
You can't even get it off, never mind get it on. It's just stuck between that. So that's the old belt. That actually looks okay, considering there's not much cracks in it. So,
Because you're in there.
I know. Let's just check this out. It's the same size. Okay. So this is a Continental 6PK2498. That's that one. For the water pump, you're following it. I'm going from left to right, and it's going underneath that pulley. Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Yes. And it goes along the top of the
the ace pump, right?
And it loops.
It comes from underneath the ace pump.
And back up over that pulley.
Back up over that pulley.
Then
Doubles
down,
back in itself.
Then over the air conditioning pump.
Compressor.
Along to the bottom of the crank.
Bottom, the inner side of the crankshaft pulley.
Right, that's fine. Then for there it's going up over the middle pulley.
It comes up over another pulley. That's the tensioner.
It's in the tensioner, yep.
Then it goes from the tensioner to another pulley.
What pulley?
The pulley beside the alternator.
Yes, so that is it's above that one, isn't it?
So it's above that one.
Right, okay.
And then it goes from there, and that's it. All we want to do is loop it onto the alternator.
Aye. So we've probably got a wee bit of slack there. Not too bad actually.